Morning, guys. It's about 10:30 in the morning. I'm just trying to, I think what I'm mainly trying to do is just wipe some static energy off of me and just wipe out my energy field. And I'm just trying to, like, instead of always keeping my heart rate up, I just want it to be down. And I just want to, instead of drinking caffeine just then, I drank a chamomile tea. It's absolutely freezing, but it's going to be bright and sunny for a few days. I'm just going to keep still-ish inside, externally helping others, and then it inevitably internally helping myself. I'm not going to go cardio full throttle right now, not today. But I might just go for a walk, you know, like I just said. And I'm sorry that I just talk so much crap, but I swear I'm here for good reasons. And sometimes, as I said, and I am a sucker for this, is there are so many distractions and so many places to put your energy right now. And there's so much static energy in your energy field. And the more you attack yourself and the more you attack externally, it's all going to reflect back to you. So don't beat up the frequency you were or are. Just sort of be aware and then make some choices about where you want to go next, isn't it? You know? So I'm struggling. I'm sure that there is just a lot of static and like just energy, right? So I'm struggling to find my full higher self a lot. And I was judging myself, looking again at pictures of me looking rubbish, videos. It's just all bullshit, yeah? And today I'm full of like cold sores again and like just sore, yeah? It's cold and I'm sore. So I'm never going to be perfect, and nothing's ever going to be perfect, and the world's never going to be perfect, and it's nothing. And that is, well, is that what perfect is, you know? So basically I'm just trying to find a zen space, or create a space inside myself to, yeah. So I just got paranoid then because I had some horses going by and I'm sat in the window like a weirdo. I suppose, yeah, I am a bit of a weirdo, but that's okay. I think everyone, depending on the perspective, you know. So I'm just trying to take this bit of time to have some space and to just be like still. I'm always following my yoga program, and at the moment it's just a couple of weeks of yin yoga. Yin yoga, if anyone doesn't know what yin yoga is just like breathing and finding like the core. And I feel more in touch with my feminine side. We are so encouraged all the time to just face the masculine, strong side of ourselves. But sometimes just focusing on the mind with the muscles and releasing and like giving them a rinse like a sponge just creates this platform for your body to sit on, which is like strong but like in a pinpoint place. So I'm just learning that if I stand up or if I hold myself strong in the right places, like I find through my lineage, my, you know, what I carry, I hold myself a lot in my shoulders and my neck and my hips, in quite a masculine form. And quite a lot of my life I've tried to like either just do one or the other, like masculine energy or feminine energy. You know, I've gone through stages where I've picked one or the other, and I'm just trying to find some comfort in being just, you know, so I just, yeah, just basically that, and just knowing that there's nothing wrong with having to just make it through and just let it all soak in. And I don't, you know, just say, there is so much opinions and energy from everybody right now, and illnesses and people flopping, and like the town I live in at the moment, they're pumping billions of pounds into like the whole town. That is inevitably, even when they pump a load of money into it, going to all go underwater in 30 years, right? We had this letter through to my village, and we live I live on a plain of ground that, the Romans used to settle here in summer, in Somerset, and then, because it would drain away from the sea. It's like the ancient Isles of Britain, right? But the monks then drained the whole thing out with ditches. So the whole place, Somerset, is very flat, and it's all full of like the old hills and the Celts and the, obviously, Glastonbury and everything. I would have mentioned Glastonbury for ages, because there's so many things to take in, man. Like, yeah, there's so many things, like, you know, just every building, everything. It's what I'm just trying to see everything all at once, and that can be very numbing. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that as well. But I am in a space that I've never been in, and I'm enjoying it. But I'm also quite numb, and I'm also so okay as well, and not very unself-destructive for once. Been on so many destructive tangents in my life, and I do like it when I'm on a tangent, and I'm absolutely fine right now, just dabbling, dibbling and dobbling, and making good meals, creating healthy spaces within myself and externally. Yeah, well, I live in the town. Yeah, it's all going to go underwater, basically. The whole place. But they're all trying to keep it from going underwater, obviously. Because what else are they all everyone going to do other than spend billions of pounds in, like, they're banging these posts into the river right there, and just banging, and it's just, and everybody in the town. I honestly, maybe I don't integrate myself enough with the town, and I felt guilty yesterday because I've come from I've come from every bloody angle since I was born. Like, been with the roughest of the rough. I have, like, part of me. And then I'm also, like, very posh as well. Like, two spectrums. And I went into my town yesterday, into the town. Oh, and it's like, it's just hard to explain, right? We've got this huge campus in the town. And I'm, you know, not picking on anyone, but there's like 3,000 Chinese people building the Hinkley Point nuclear power station. So that's all going to go underwater as well. And we're in a position in this town where maybe 20 years ago there wasn't many jobs, and now the place is flooded with industrial buildings, and it's like a mini city. It's this huge nuclear power station. It's one of the only ones in Britain, and there's just this huge campus of like people that come over, and if you go, you can go and get a job at this, work for this nuclear power station. I could, and they go and pick me up down the road, and they pay me thousands of pounds each week to work there. But everybody that works there gets really depressed. It's a serious thing. Like, they all look really down, and it's a bad atmosphere. Lots of people go to work there and get a lot of money, and then they come out like, oh, I couldn't do it. And it's like, they can't really work out the reason, but it's the radioactive energy, right? I'm sure I've, like, Oh, it's just crazy, right? So I'm in the middle of all this fucking craziness. And I live on these flats, the flat grounds. And I can see the nuclear power station. I got them bloody draining the river there. And then, oh, and I had to walk past the Chinese campus yesterday. And then, it's a really rough, scabby town. But it's not scabby. I love my town, right? It's one of the first rebel towns of England that went against the Queen. But it was like a long time ago. The Queen Elizabeth, who last reigned, that were basically, it's this thing where no monarch could come to my town because it was a rebellised town that, the Battle of Hastings. Is it Battle of Sedgemoor. See, don't listen to me. But it's really historic, right? And then we've got the biggest carnival. I didn't even film that for you the other day. And yeah, but with the carnival, we've got the biggest carnival, which we celebrate Guy Fawkes with the squibbing. And it's a crazy town of history, of rebellion. And it was nearly Bristol, and then it wouldn't become Bristol because it just didn't want to. There's like a castle here, and it's like in the whole town. It's just crazy I'm just overwhelmed by information, right? But let alone all the lovely, overwhelming information of my children that I'm taking in bit by bit, dibble-dilly-dabbly, and just loving being in the bubble of everything. It is just so much. And then on top of that, I'm constantly pressing my phone, looking and reading and doing and flowing. And, part of me misses the old days where there was 5 channels on the TV and we all just thought about very similar things. It's just... That's what I mean about just going into the town yesterday and, it's just really odd day yesterday. My daughter bent her finger in and the school ended up ringing me up, talking to me like rubbish care. You need to take the doctors, and you didn't take the doctors. I was just like, I don't want to go on, but I was like in an A&E and it was a great day. It was a great day, but it's just a weird day of energy and everybody's energy. And obviously, like when you go in A&E, in accident and emergency, there's obviously just so much energy. I hope people can't just see me in this window and they think, people do think I'm crazy. I've actually created a lovely box for myself where there's actually a graveyard outside. Yeah. But I've created a box for myself where I'm happily crazy and I have my energy protected. But yesterday, when I go out into my town, and actually face reality a little bit more, I realise how unconnected I am and how I even struggle to go up to a counter to pay for stuff or something, or even see, right, at the moment. It's hard to explain. It's just my hormones or something, right? But I was just aware that how disconnected I am, and I was unsure if I am happy with that or not, where I was fully integrated in the town at one point where I used to live right in the middle of the town. I've lived in all different parts. And when I was a teenager, I used to go around being so bloody dangerous, just being... in ways, it was safer than it is now because this town is full of there's a lot of energy and there's a lot of scooters and balaclavas and that, But I wasn't one of those kids, but I've come from extreme rough backgrounds as well as I thought it should have cut me off really. I can see I'm going on, right? So I just thought yesterday about how much I was, but I'm not in a snobby way. It's like in a still way. But what I think I'm basically trying to pull things back to is never ever forget your faith in the fact that you will always be left alone in the lurk, and you'll always feel the energy of everything hitting your field, and you've got to learn to protect your energy field by keeping what you need to bloody do in the moment when you can as much, or at least just noticing how you feel when you are going against the grind, because that's another... we are experimental and we do have to go against the grind to know how it feels when we're going with the grind, So, obviously always pull yourself out of being a tosser when you can. But if you really do need to be a tosser, then do. I am less of a tosser than I used to be at the moment, and that might change as soon as I say it, you know. Just, again, I'm fighting what I actually bloody want to say is don't ever forget to remember to just go back to your angels, to the angels and to Jesus, mate, and everything. Always push back to Jesus. That's my faith line, and what you know to be true and what resonates. You know, at times I've really heavily resonated with all sorts, you know, Isis, goddess Isis. I've not, you know, that one, but I've resonated with so much and it can be very mind-blowing to keep up with all the different changes and all the different energy and the information coming through, like the energy, information of trees and whatever, information of the pillow, the teddy you had when you were 10, you know. The information is everywhere to pick up on, and then sometimes the more you open yourself up, the more information you're getting. And yeah, so just take it easy. Remember, what's always worked for me is asking Raphael and the green light. I'm telling you to remember things that I'm not saying you necessarily point yourself towards, but remember find Jesus, find the angels. Raphael with the green light, healing, and then Saint Michael to protect you with red light, or whatever light. I've been trying to picture the white light coming through the top of my head, you know, when you're in a Shavasana. If anyone, no, you know, I don't give enough people enough. If you've not lied in a Shavasana, it's one of the most hardest positions to lie in, is when you're just completely let go of your whole body, and I can't do it. But I am getting there all the fucking time. I'm doing yoga for over nearly 2 years now, daily. Now it's a bit of an exaggeration, but really, actually daily. And if I don't do it, I wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning and like do it like a robot. Maybe that's my problem at the moment. I won't let go a little bit more. I don't know, but I'm discovering each day which move to make. I'm sure. Look at me just talking to myself. Look at me. I just realised it's just talking. I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to the internet, which is absolutely amazing. And it's so easy to like just numb off of what you've got in front of your face. It's the greed of God, isn't it? The greed of the human. And I'm so happy right now, right? But do remember that we're on a long-term mission, guys, and there's so much energy and frustration and fear and entertainment and everything, man. And it's just, if you've got children, just make sure you are being as grounded as you can be for your children. And again, well, you are being an example for everybody, the old and their old programming. Just be note for me, and just basically, I've got your back. Everybody's got each other's backs. Jesus got your back. Jesus has got your back. Everybody. Anything that wants to come and tell you that they got your back has got your back. And if you are going through a stage where you are having less avenues that you want to take right this second, you will get your avenues back, and you might just be floating through the dimensions of everything, you see. Like when you're in a higher dimension, there can be very little desires other than just the simplest things, which if you actually accountantly look at what you're doing when you're doing simple things like eating well, drinking water, exercising, but not to the point where you're like always raising your heart, running until you snap your ankles, you know, but also learning how to go in and breathe and close your eyes, and learning how to use the diaphragm and the muscles, the internal pelvic muscles, the internal core is strong just sometimes by the way you are holding your whole body. So Shavasana, so I'm jumping. Shavasana, where you're lying down. Apparently, if you learn how to do a Shavasana, it takes years, right? So you're just lying down, right? And you always say, if you've got more time to lie here, do. And I don't. I never lie there any longer, which is wrong of me either. But you lie like in the Shavasana, right? You've got to let everything go. You like soak into the mat. It's a bit like when that bloke soaks into the mat and Train Spotting, the film, and you know, like not, but we're not on any intoxicating heroin, you know. We're just going to soak in, like, apparently if you learn how to do that fully and let go of the whole body, you know, and astral project almost, if in 5 minutes, that is the same as having a 2-hour sleep. So maybe that's why I'm exhausted. I'm not. But then if you try and find out information instead of finding it within, there will be, like I've said, this is a bit of a repeat, but you'll find, oh, you're resting too much or you're not exercising. So you will always find evidence for all sorts at the moment. So just the answers are inside you, and the answer's going to be different for everybody else. So if you just go around concentrating on other people's answers. But yeah, Shavasana, man. Shavasana, try. And that you're internally like letting go of these like blocks and bulges and then you're pulling yourself in. You're just making yourself lighter, right? So just be aware that sometimes as well, like lots of exercise and lots of adrenaline can create weight. And sometimes you just need to be like light. Nothing's always in the same state, or unless you're a fir tree, Christmas tree. But yeah, just be. So I think that's enough information, but to Jesus and to the gang, and I think my gang know who my gang are, and you know if you're in my gang, and you are in the gang. Well, everyone's in the bloody gang, right? But even if you're watching this and you're thinking, what the bloody hell, which I actually do to every video that I've made, I look back, I cannot even stand myself most of the time, right? And I'm trying not to concentrate on that because it's just my own. I do and I don't, you know? Go through like these really unhealthy loops of thinking I'm really bloody cool, I've realised over the years, to like just looking at myself like shit, you know? And it's just trying to find this equilibrium. I never say that, is that right? Of like, exactly. So I'm going to get on now and I'm going to go and cook beef, which is probably wrong anyway. It's probably heavy. I'll learn along the way, won't I, that I shouldn't be eating any beef. Oh, I've been craving a bloody McDonald's. And I had one last week, but I want another. Oh, I could just, yeah, but just keep going, guys, and just. And if you make a mistake one day, don't think that you'll now I'm off the train. I can't keep going forward now. Just yeah. You'll be all right. I'm quite proud of myself. Admittingly, right, if there's a beer in the house, and this is a bad habit, or even wine, I suppose, I would say, right, I'll probably like slip it in and drink it. At some point it'll be evening or morning or wherever, right? Especially a beer. I'll have beer for breakfast if I get an excuse to. I'll probably never break that one. But in this house since Sunday, there's been a bottle of Captain Morgan's rum or whatever, and I haven't sipped it, and I'm not going to. And that sounds a bit weird. People might go, that sounds hasty. Why would you act like that? But I'm just saying, I have my little things where, like, if there's a beer in the house, I might drink it. But I'm not weak, you know. Like, I haven't sipped alcohol for 4 days now. I'm very aware that I've cut down on my smoking, you know. I'm just a bit less. I'm just getting some sun now, so this is important. Because it's very strange. In the summer, I know exactly what to do. And I do a lot of sunbathing and just being in the sun and just chill out. In the winter, I do get quite confused. But I am going to get busy now. I'm going to do some cleaning. Mopping is the one. Bit of toilet cleaning. Learnt from the Japanese. Could go too far, though. Because Japanese want you to straighten out all the shoes and all that. And it's a lot of shoes to straighten out. But it does make me feel better when I do so. I will just share a small story if there's anyone at the end. I don't like to talk about these things because I'm a mother, I suppose. I don't like to talk about it too much. But I suppose it was my dad that suggested it to me. And there's a lot of scientific evidence on it. But first time I tried 3 years ago. And I've only ever done it a couple of times. Like, it's not something, but maybe I need to do it. Maybe that's what, because when I did, I noticed why I needed to have a clean environment and why it was so important, rather than this silly voice that is on me at the moment a lot of the time that I'm fighting continuously right now. I'm like, hey, we got to go and clean up. Oh, I've got to go in. But the first time I ever did, I seen all of the little bits of material that I needed to throw away. And it was like all these, and how I was stopping the whole house from being able to think clearly by the amount of clutter that was, all the old energy I could see. I could see the kitchen was sparkling, but there was just so much bulk and old socks, and I'm almost back in that position at the moment with my house, at the moment where I can clean it, and I'm like, something's still wrong, and I won't get out the paintbrush and that, because I think I need to throw away a lot of stuff, and I need to reorganize the space. Just even moving a bed or moving a chair can just create some air, And I'm just noting, I'm not telling everybody to go off, but the gummies that are online, I don't know. Maybe sometimes we just need to relax and get some of this programming paradigm off our brain tiny bit, So now when you're just being too rigidly, and I tell you, alcohol is just the worst, isn't it? It's just a depressant. It keeps you right in the loop of the old and your old habits. So just have a cup of tea. Eat some chocolate, but not too much. Just, Right, so Christmas is bloody looming very quickly. My oldest is 13 next week, so it's all just groovy baby, and we're in life, and we're stretching a lot, Just remember that all things are beautiful, and all things come in and out of fashion, and, fashion of all sorts changes all the time. Like one day it might actually be really fashionable to be really wrinkly and old, and I don't think that's ever going to happen. So guys, just look after yourselves. Drink water. Like my hairdresser last week, she's 50 something, and she said, I didn't think she'd even had Botox, but she had, and I felt quite rude saying she'd had Botox. She looked okay, I'm not picking on her, but the woman said she never drinks any water, and she never ever had any fruit or veg. And I thought, well, at least I do some things right, and I do a lot of things wrong, and it's be the same as you, I'm sure. You might be right up your ass thinking perfect because of your, but you cannot not face both sides. If you want, well, you can, but yeah. So I'm going to bloody bugger off now. Peace and love, mate. Namaste, cheers and bye.